Christmas.
Good evening, everyone. I call to order this November 19, 2013 meeting of Mechanicsburg Borough Council. We will open with the pledge of the flag. Junior Councilman Alcis, would you once again lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
President Seacrest.
Present.
Vice President McDermott.
Present.
Councilwoman Hardy.
Present.
Hughes.
Here.
Councilman Miller.
Here.
Stoner.
Here.
Whitcomb.
Here.
Mayor Ritter.
Here.
Solicitor Hall. Here. Chief Socks. Chief Seacrest. Junior Councilperson Gracias.
Here.
Secretary Dennis.
Here. We have a quorum. Before we begin this evening, I would just like to let everyone know that Borough Council, following the Borough Council will adjourn at the end of the business agenda to go into an executive session to discuss matters of personnel with possible action to be taken. First on the agenda, we have some guests with us this evening. I believe Carl Hirsch from the Borough Recycling Committee is here, I believe. Mr. Hirsch, would you and the other members of the committee like to come up? Ms. Hollier, I see she's here. Ms. Beatty is here. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so.
Good evening. On behalf of the Mechanicsburg Environmental Advisory Committee, or Council rather, and the Citizens Recycling Advisory Committee, us and Glenda, I'm honored and proud to present the Mechanicsburg's third annual Commercial Recycling Award. Each spring, the borough seeks nominations from its businesses for exemplary recycling during the previous year in hopes of encouraging other businesses to recycle more. Past winners that we've honored with the Commercial Recycling Award include Davis Family Agway in 2011, and last year we honored John Gross and Sons for their recycling. The 2013 awardee has a long history of recycling in the borough, predating Pennsylvania's 1988 recycling law and the Mechanicsburg Borough's recycling regulations. Penn Waste, a recycling hauler serving businesses in Mechanicsburg, reported that in 2012, tonight's awardee recycled and thus diverted from disposal 4 tons of recyclables during the year. That comprised of aluminum, corrugated cardboard, and shrink wrap. And they were all recycled in a single stream fashion. Single stream means that you can put all the materials into one container and they're sorted at the recycling plant. It saves some time and effort on the customer side. The downtown store we're honoring tonight also recycles about 15 to 25 pallets a week, most of which are reused. In further support of reuse, the hardware store offers its customers reusable tote bags and occasionally offers special tote bag giveaways with an offer to discount. Everything will fit in the bag. For those of you who may be wondering or may have guessed, tonight we're honoring Ritter's Hardware. For its exemplary green behavior and citizenship. So the Borough of Mechanicsburg presents Ritter's Hardware with its 2013 Commercial Recycling Award. Gina?
I guess I would like to just say a few words, even though Carl stole a lot of my thunder. I was going to give some of the details of what we've done in the past, but when we first started recycling, it was not a real popular thing. It's something that we've slowly built into, and with the younger people that are working for us and quite often handling the garbage and handling the recyclables, it's a little difficult sometimes to get everybody playing on the same page, but through practice and determination, we've actually made that happen. And as Carl said, we've actually recycled almost 4 tons of materials last year. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I thought that's a lot of material going out of the store that could end up in a landfill, but it's not.
And I understand you recycle at the other location as
We
well.
do, the habits that we build here, we also take it down to Lemoyne, and we do recycling thing down there. And again, it's a single stream, which makes it really, really easy for us. It's just one of those things that you have to be, stay on top of and be determined to do it as best you can. A couple years ago, we did a relamping in the store, went with all new energy efficient bulbs and ballasts, which was fairly expensive, but we've recycled hundreds and hundreds of those fluorescent bulbs and also dozens of those electronic ballasts. So again, that was something that we did that was a big part of our recycling plan. We would like to thank the committee for this, Jack and I both. Really surprised that this is something that was recognized. We've been in business for 105 years. So it's really nice to be recognized for something. We appreciate that. And I would also like to say this is just one of those little things that happens in the back room of Ritters Hardware. That is a good thing.
Is Susan McCougar with us from the Cumberland County Neighborhood Dispute Organization? Yes, ma'am. Would you kindly approach them? Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. I'm here from the Neighborhood Dispute Settlement Program, which is a volunteer mediation program serving Cumberland and Dauphin County for 35 years now. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with mediation services, but mediation is a voluntary way to resolve disputes without involving litigation. And Neighborhood Dispute Settlements has been providing this service at pretty much next to no cost to residents of both counties. The way we work, mediation is something that sometimes a district justice or police department or even just citizens may call and say, I have a problem I'd like to work through with my neighbor, etc. So there are many, many ways mediation can benefit a community. So what we do is we operate on funding that is provided by boroughs, municipalities, and the county. It's a pretty small operation, however, we have 20 to 30 mediators, and this is our 35th year in existence. So many of the mediators some are attorneys who are doing this just pro bono and for the experience. Some are just volunteers like myself who have mediation training. So we just wanted to make our program known to everybody. We hope that you would consider using it. And if you could consider or would consider a small donation like other municipalities have, that would help support our costs. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for the work that you do.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Request this evening. Yes, ma'am. Would you kindly give your name and address, please?
CCVT 133 West Locust Street. Good evening, President Seacrest and Council. I'm here tonight representing really one big umbrella group, Green Cause, and a smaller group underneath that, Mechanicsburg Adult Environmental Club. And both of those organizations are under Mechanicsburg Parks and Rec. And we are an organization that connects municipal green organizations in Cumberland, Perry, Dauphin, York, Lebanon, and Lancaster counties to facilitate sharing of information, to promote green living and green businesses, and to provide education about good stewardship practices. Our second component is hands-on. We actually do creek cleanup. We help maintain Trails and Trees Environmental Center, and we do highway cleanup. Those are the three of our big things. We've always done education. That's been the big part of our club and Green Cause, and it's been kind of buckshot. It's been on a lot of different topics. But in 2014, our educational efforts will be focused on best management practices for MS4. That is Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Systems. And our goal for this is to provide homeowners and renters with practical instruction on stormwater management, on how to keep stormwater out of basements and out of low-lying streets. The sessions will be held at Trails and Trees on Saturday mornings. There will be some field trips involved, and some of those field trips would include an extra day or an extra long day, I should say. I think now, I see you have a lot of papers and probably are hoping I can give you another one. But I'm going to give you this as our list of classes. If you could glance over it, you'd have an idea of what MS4 would entail. And what we're asking of the council is to try to help us publicize this so that we can get a crowd there. And if we can get a crowd there teaching them these best management practices, the hope is that we can keep stormwater, you two already have this. The hope is that we can keep stormwater on the properties and ideally perk down into underground water levels. That would be the hope. And we will, after each session, tell each municipality and each county how many participants showed up. Because we think that you could use this as part of your regulation, a part of what you have to do as a borough. Okay, that's it. I tried to keep it to 3 minutes. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Could we just ask if borough staff could consider incorporating some of these dates in the next newsletter? Sure. As appropriate?
And we do have it on the website on the EAC page.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Vivi.
Thank you.
Are there any other citizens' comments or requests this evening? Yes, sir.
Dick Snyder, 338 West Main. Just have two items. One for the chief of police. Trucks on Washington Street turning on to Main, mostly Werner. And the other was for the borough manager with the storm, just feedback on the storm.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens' comments or requests this evening? Anything at all? Very good. Thank you all for being here this evening. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules. Are there any additions to the agenda this evening?
Yes, I have four. The first is discussion and possible action on Resolution 25. If you remember, the four of these that I'm going to add are the resolutions from the COG that we spoke of last time. So I'm going to put them in order of where they fall in terms of our resolution schedule, and then I'll detail specifically what each resolution is before we add it to the agenda. The first one is Resolution 25, which encompasses language about House Resolution 100, which will review the fiscal impacts on local government's implementation of the right to know law. Discussion and possible action on Resolution 26, which is in regards to Senate Bill 444, which would make several needed changes specifically to allow a commercial request fee to help recruit administrative labor costs, would also allow agencies to petition the courts for protective order against unduly burdensome requests, and allow agency to deny a request to a party to litigation if the request is related to litigation or was previously made in discovery. Resolution 27 is about Senate Bill 1, which is a long-term comprehensive multimodal transportation funding investment. This was the discussion that we had about new revenue would largely come from increases in user fees, license and registration, and uncapping the oil company franchise tax. And the final one is Resolution 28, which is Senate Bill 733, which would afford the municipal entities the option to electronically publish legal notices on their websites instead of in a newspaper as required by law.
Very good.
So when we get to those points, this is for the Capital Region COG. If council and the majority is in support of signing these resolutions, I'll go over all this again when we get to those specific agenda items, but we would of course vote to pass that resolution, and then we would sign it and send it to the COG.
Perfect. Thank you. Are there any other additions to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Make that motion.
Councilwoman Harding so moves. Is there a
Second.
Councilman Whitcomb seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the agenda is approved. Correspondence.
There's one piece of correspondence before you tonight in regards to an application for a handicap permit renewal application. It is a letter from an individual's doctor, so please reference that as before we talk about the said application. That's it.
Sounds good, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of council held November 4th, 2013? The budget hearing as well as the regular council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second? Second. Councilman McDermott seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. Manager's report.
Myself and Glenda Boyer had a very productive meeting with the waste hauler. We have right now Republic. We've had the ladies in the office keep track of each individual complaint that we've received since the transition to Republic, as this is our first year under their new contract. There are financial stipulations due to missed waste that we can implement if it becomes that egregious that we need to. The hauler seemed receptive to our discussion and our complaints and the resident complaints. Hopefully Mr. Isabella and his whole team that were here will be responsive to the borough's cries for help with that. One of the main things we've seen is a large uptick in missed yard waste from what the haulers and the haulers' employees were stating to Glenda and I. There seems to be some confusion and between what is actual yard waste and what is not. The hauler will not go onto private property, so if you have any doubt, make sure you bundle your stuff and get it out to the curb line. If it's across the sidewalk in your yard, they're not going to get it. So it seems to be some of the ones were definitely that, but just make sure you drag it to the street. United Water is working on some line replacement up on Moomaw Drive, so if you see traffic stopped up in that direction, that's what they're doing. They will be on Market Street in the next couple of weeks, so plan accordingly. Other than that, Mr. Rogalski and I had a meeting with the head of the Twilight Baseball Association to go over the modifications to the baseball field. In fact, McCorkle met with me yesterday. I have the signed contracts for Greg this evening, and they are ready to go as soon as yesterday. So that should be done in the next 90 or so days. So that should be good. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
That's great, thank you.
Sure.
Mayor's report.
Thank you very much. October 16th, the Mechanicsburg Area Foundation met to discuss community need assessments in the area school district office. The 19th Streets of Treats brought families to downtown Mechanicsburg a family-safe Halloween. The 19th officiated a wedding at Children's Lake in Bowling Springs. November 1st presented a key to the city to Heather Blair Photography's grand opening at 128 West Main Street. The 2nd hosted Downtown Cleanup Day volunteers to hot dogs and drinks. The 11th, the Hummel Miniature Flea Circus was performed for the Ladies Club of the Wesley United Methodist Church. They would rather be south in Fleaport, not the ladies, the fleas. For a Mechanicsburg calendar by the Mechanicsburg Museum Association, 13 Views of Towns by Eva Williams, a really nice calendar. Question: robots work in Mechanicsburg. They show up to work on time, require no benefits, no coffee breaks, and never complain. Just don't push their buttons. Where are they and for whom do they work?
Street crossing?
ACT, Advanced Coating Technology. They run powder coating machines for Joey Turi. End of report.
Chief of Police report, Chief Spots.
Thank you. I'd just like council to know that Officer Michael Bettis received an award from the Pennsylvania DUI Association as a DUI Top Gun for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on November 14th at their annual training conference. Very nice ceremony, very nice award. I also received a commendation for Officer Vincent from a parent of a child who he counseled regarding a fascination with guns. It was not a criminal offense, but a fixation. A kid he met through the SMARTS program and counseled after SMARTS on the issue. So it turned out really well. Parents were very happy. That's the end of report.
Thank you. Solicitor Coyne. Very good. Engineer report, Engineer Rogalski.
No report.
Terrific. Fire Chief report, Chief Segrist.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two quick things. I held a Borough Fire Officers meeting, which was well attended. Also did a fire extinguisher demonstration class for members of the St. Joseph School, not only teachers, but some of the administrative. We had 43 people in attendance that day. And just a reminder to everybody, on the 28th of November, the Washington Fire Company is holding their 100th annual Children's Christmas Party. And that's all I have for now.
Great, thank you. Junior council persons report, Junior Councilman DeValsis.
No report.
Very good. Agenda items.
Discussion and possible action to authorize advertisement of the bid for the compost gate installation project. If I may, after talking to the engineer this afternoon, I would suggest that Borough Council table this initiative. There's some things still to work out with the software vendor associated with the gate, and Silver Springs is a little behind us in terms of approvals, so I would humbly suggest that you table this evening until we can get back with Silver Spring and get some things cleared up.
Thank you. Is there a motion to table?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Miller seconds. This being a motion to table is not debatable. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion is tabled.
Thank you. We do have a meeting about this next Monday to keep this moving forward, but we are a little bit further along than Silver Spring is again, so we'll get it. Discussion and possible action to reconsider the handicap permit renewal application for James Gibbs of 50 West Keller Street from January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2015.
Council may recall that in our last meeting on November the 4th, we received a visit from Mr. Gibbs, who is also with us here this evening. Thank you for being here both evenings. Just to remind everybody, to advise everybody, Solicitor Coyne has advised me that since council initially denied Mr. Gibbs' application, we've been in receipt of two separate pieces of correspondence from Mr. Gibbs, two of Mr. Gibbs' physicians. And Solicitor Coyne, our attorney, is asking me if you, Mr. Gibbs, would consider allowing us to take the two letters that we received from your doctors and incorporate them into the part of the public record. We are asking you your consent because according to the HIPAA law, the federal HIPAA law, we don't want to violate any of your medical history. So with your consent, would you object if we incorporated the two letters that we received from your doctors explaining why it's... Great, thank you, Mr. Gibbs. The first piece of correspondence we received was back on October the 31st. I'm advised that this was in council packets from Ronald Schlansky, MD. And since that time, we've also received correspondence dated November 7th, 2013 from Christopher J. Bureau, MD. I believe copies of this correspondence should be in front of each member of council this evening. So with that said, just to remind Mr. Gibbs, council initially declined his application back on the 15th because we received recommendations from both the police department as well as the code enforcement officer that we should issue a denial based on the fact that you have off-street parking. However, since that time, as you're well aware, 2 weeks ago you came to council and requested an appeal. As such, would any members of council be interested in making a motion to reconsider the handicap permit renewal application for Mr. Gibbs?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman Whitcomb moves, Councilman McDermott seconds. Is there any discussion? Before would you like to offer anything, Mr. Gibbs?
Other than that, I've had it since 2005, parking space.
Okay.
And the original one was being hard. And this stack came back up. And I answered the question wrong on one of the forms
It's
back
okay.
in July. And put down sometimes, and then the second one I put down 50 feet. But I measured it, it's 110 feet from the parking pad. And that's a little distance, 24 inches. And if I have to carry anything, it's out front, it's just in the yard.
Absolutely. I understand. Well, we're about, it sounds like we're about to make good on what we did back on the 15th. So, are there any questions from council since Mr. Gibbs is here with us? Very good. We have a motion on the floor. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
I think for clarifications, for reconsideration and approval, is that what?
That would be correct.
Okay. So that's the motion, for reconsideration and approval.
You can sit down again. Yep. I think we're about to make it final. You're good.
Good?
Yep, if you want to, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience. What's that?
You're good to go.
You're good to go.
Discussion and possible action on the handicap parking permit renewal from January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2015 for Luetta Hoppel, 12 East Locust Street.
Is there a motion?
I make that motion.
Councilman Stoner so moves. Councilman Whitcomb seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Harold M. Rhodes, 110 North Arch Street.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second? Second. Councilman Miller seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Melissa Sapala, sorry if that's not close, 110 East Simpson Street.
Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Councilman Stoner so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Whitcomb seconds. Is there any discussion?
I didn't find a doctor's letter with this application, perhaps there was one. You know, I didn't find a letter of support from the doctor, and maybe I missed it.
There may not be one, that's, it's not a requirement
Okay.
for them to do that, so she didn't provide one, she probably didn't provide one. It's helpful if people do.
Yeah, it is. Witness Mr. Gibbs.
Clerk.
Is there any other discussion? Any other questions on the SAPLA application? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Discussion and possible action to release Michelle L. Burig from the mortgage dated August 29, 2011 on the Mechanicsburg Commercial Rehabilitation Loan Fund.
Is there a
I'll
motion?
make that motion.
Councilwoman Humes so moves, Councilman McDermott seconds. Is there any discussion?
Just as far as the edification, I spoke with the attorney, sheriff's office, as well as the two other attorneys involved in the matter. And with the council's indulgence, if I may, the initial waiver that was submitted, I'm in negotiations with Mr. Patrick, who is Mr. Burig's attorney, just to modify that. I don't think there should be any problems with it, but I just wanted to modify, perhaps the motion is upon approval by the solicitor.
I didn't make the motion.
I'll change my motion.
Change the second.
Okay. Councilwoman Humes indicates her willingness to amend her motion to reflect the advice of the solicitor. Councilman McDermott amends a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amended motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Discussion and possible action to approve a banner across East Main Street promoting the New Year's Eve wrench route from December 1st, 2013 through January 4th, 2014.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilman McDermott so moves. Is there
I'll
a
second that.
Councilman Whitcomb seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion's approved.
Consideration and possible action to approve the 2014 Municipal Domestic Animal Protective Service Agreement with the Humane Society of the Harrisburg area.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Harding seconds. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Chief, I didn't get anything in the packet. Is it the same as last year?
Well, it's the same as last year. I sent the entire agreement out when I sent the request for the agenda edition to be added. I sent the entire agreement as an attachment. But there is no change from actually, we have to put less money, the deposit, so we have less deposit money, but the fees are the same, so at the end of the year, we're gonna end up paying about the same.
It may not gain cost with my
But
computer, that's okay.
yeah, the fees are the same, the terms and conditions are the same. We just have to deposit less money at the beginning of the agreement than we had to do for 2013.
Is there any other discussion? Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the agreement is approved.
Consideration and possible action to accept the resignation of school crossing guard David Yost effective immediately.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Stoner seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resignation is approved.
Consideration and possible action to hire Lori Getz as a part-time at-will school crossing guard at a rate of $10 per shift effective immediately.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Stoner seconds. Is there any discussion?
I do have one question. Is she replacing the one we just?
Yes, Yost got a full-time job and left, she's replacing Yost. Yes.
Just check.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Approval of capital, general, highway, sewer, and capital sewer fund expenditures from October 1st, 2013 through October 31st, 2013.
Is there a motion to
I'll make
pay
that
the
motion.
bills? Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Stoner seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to pay the bills signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are paid.
Discussion and possible action on Resolution 25, which is in regards to House Resolution 100, which will review the fiscal impact on local governments for implementation of the right to know law.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilman McDermott so moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Humes, second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
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 Okay, we have divided the vote. Would we please have a roll call?
Harding,
Yes.
Humes,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sechrist,
Yes.
Stoner,
No.
Whitcomb.
No.
On the motion, the vote is 5-2, and the motion passes.
Discussion and possible action on Resolution 26 in regards to Senate Bill 444, which will make several needed changes, specifically to allow commercial request fee to help administrative labor cost. I would assume we've never even remotely got a right to know request for any sort of commercial properties. My guess would be this is about and for the COG members that are first or second class townships, which get a lot of commercial land development requests.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Councilwoman Harding so moves. Is there a second?
A second.
Councilman Miller seconds. Is there any discussion?
What does that benefit the borough? Does that benefit the borough of Mechanicsburg?
What, pardon?
It doesn't benefit the borough of Mechanicsburg.
Well, I mean, if we were to get a commercial request, we would then be able to charge a fee if this legislation would be impacted. Now, we can charge them 25 cents a page. And the other parts of it is that, you know, if a specific, Greg has a specific file that's there and it's already been requested as part of litigation, we don't have to reproduce it. But I think this has been since '08, and we've had maybe 40 open records requests total, and none have been.
You did, I get like 40 a year.
No. There you go. And I have 40.
We probably, at the police department, we've had several hundred since the right to know law.
We don't get many downstairs, but this is in regards to what we would get, and we get like 40. So,
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
No.
May we also have another roll call, please?
Harding,
Yes.
Humes,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sechrist,
Yes.
Stoner,
No.
Whitcomb.
No.
On the motion, ayes 5, nays 2, the motion passes.
discussion of possible action on Resolution 12, which is Resolution 27, which is in regards to Senate Bill 1, which is a long-term comprehensive multimodal transportation funding investment, which would allow for new revenue, which would largely come from increases in user fees and uncapping the oil company franchise tax.
I'll make that motion.
Councilwoman Humes so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Harding seconds. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, if I'm right, I think the House voted that down today.
No, there are other developments that happened today that,
A little after 7 o'clock tonight, the House passed this bill, which I believe is similar to the bill that was rejected last night on 104 to 90-some vote. So tomorrow will be third consideration, final passage. I think it's in the House before we send it to the Senate.
I make a motion to table this because of recent developments on this. We don't really need to take action.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion to table supersedes the motion to pass. Once again, the motion to table is non-debatable. All those in favor of the motion to table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is tabled.
And the last one is discussion and possible action resolution 28 in regards to Senate Bill 733, which would afford municipalities the option to electronically publish legal notices.
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Whitcomb so moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Miller seconds. Is there any discussion?
This one would obviously have the most financial savings for the borough,
Sure.
other than the other resolutions we've talked about.
For the information of the public, the law currently mandates that for any time a municipality like the Borough of Mechanicsburg has a meeting, we're required by law to advertise in 2 different printed publications. The Borough of Mechanicsburg traditionally uses the Harrisburg Patriot News and the Carlisle Sentinel.
That's correct.
If the law were to change and allow municipalities such as Mechanicsburg to advertise on the borough website, we would save significant amount of cost of legal advertisements. So, with that said, has the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Thank you.
Items, are there any other citizens' comments this evening?
You've missed an agenda item. The third one from the bottom of the page is the domestic animal protective service.
No.
No, I asked about that.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Are there any other public comments this evening? Anything at all from the community? Very good. Thank you all again for being here this evening. Is there any other business to come before council? Office Manager Boyer, Manager Dennis.
To go back to what I talked about in terms of missed garbage, if they do miss it, please call in, we do document it, and, it is a waste of tax dollars to not to, because there are provisions that we've negotiated in the contract. So if they miss your yard waste or they miss your garbage, please call us, don't be afraid to do that.
Thank you. Chief Spots, Mayor Reardon.
I'd like to congratulate all the local winners.
Councilwoman Hughes.
No, never been.
Councilman Miller.
If we could see that Senator Vance gets a copy of Resolution 28 because it's now on her committee, the Appropriations Committee.
That's it. Councilman McDermott.
Best wishes for everybody for happy Thanksgiving, and I believe the tree lighting ceremony is next weekend.
Friday.
Terrific.
With our new, or renewed lights, I should say.
Updated lights, yes.
Have we received those yet?
Yes, they're back in our possession.
Do they work?
They're not up yet, and I haven't heard that they don't, but I imagine if they don't, I would have heard about it.
Solicitor Coyne.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Harding. Councilman Stover.
Hey, one thing, Larry, I think you want the date for your Christmas party, I think it's the 30th. That's the Saturday, 28th, Thanksgiving.
Christmas party for here is the 30th.
No, Christmas party. And I think the date, I think the time is from 12 to 2, I think, if I'm right.
Correct. Thank you. The brochure I had read 28. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else, Councilman Stover?
That's it, thank you.
Councilman Whitcomb.
No, sir.
Engineer Rogalski. Chief Segrist.
Just one quick thing to everybody in the news media, with Thanksgiving and the holidays coming up, please be careful. Watch out for those unattended candles. We've had problems over the past years. People light candles, they walk down the room or out of the area, and we end up making a visit. Please watch those. Appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Junior Councilman Faustus. Very good. We will be, we'll be recessing to executive session to discuss a matter of personnel and possible action to be taken. And I call this meeting in recess. Thank you.